All right, what is up, everybody? How's it going, platform builders? Hope you're having an awesome Thursday. And today I want to share with you something that I've been working on, and I'm really excited to share with you guys. And we're going to be talking about the content matrix worksheet. And I have the link for this. You can print it out and you can follow along with the training. But if you guys are live, give me a hashtag live. If you're watching the replay, give me a hashtag replay. Let me know that you're watching this and we'll get on into the training. But this is going to be perfect if you've ever felt stuck creating content, or if you've ever sat down to plan your content and you've felt, overwhelmed with the process of content creation. You're like, what do I post? And then when you go to hit record, you feel awkward because you don't know what to talk about and you don't really have a clear understanding of how you're going to create content that actually moves the needle in your business. And so if that is you, if you've ever felt like that before, and I've definitely felt like that before, so I can completely relate to that, then this is going to be the solution, because using this worksheet, what you can do is you can generate basically an infinite and never-ending amount of content ideas. Because what we're going to do in this training is we're going to figure out the foundations. We're going to figure out the hard things about content creation all in one go. And then moving forward, you're going to have a map and you're going to have a compass for knowing exactly what kind of content to create that's going to attract your dream customers. So that's what this training is about. If that sounds awesome, give me a hashtag let's go in the chat or something. And we'll get into this using the content matrix to generate an infinite number of content ideas. So before we get into the training, I just want to let you guys know that I'm going to be running the 5-day traffic challenge starting May 23rd. And this is going to be for anybody who is interested in learning how to basically apply these principles and build their own platform. I just did a live yesterday in the group explaining how there's really only 4 or 5 ways to generate leads. And 4 of them really depend on having your own platform, knowing what your message is. And so if you've ever struggled with getting traffic to your business before, this challenge is going to walk you step by step through how to grow your platform. We're going to be talking about specifically how to grow on TikTok, but it is applicable to other platforms. And as I'll share in the training as well, you can actually repurpose your content to other places. So if you are interested, go on over to 5daytrafficchallenge.com. The challenge is free, and join the Facebook group, and we will start on Tuesday, and it's going to be so much fun, and I can't wait to see you there. So yeah, like I said before, it's basically going to be about how to structure your content, what content you should create, and you're going to leave this challenge knowing exactly what to post on TikTok to get targeted traffic, build your brand, and generate leads. And so you can go register right now. But for now, let's get into this content matrix worksheet here, and you can actually download and print this worksheet. And let me actually put this in the chat here. Okay, so that should be in the video comments. So you can go add this to your Google Drive and you can print it out. And this is going to really help you with organizing your content. So let's get into this. First things first, I want to talk about the principle behind this. And there is a concept when creating content called the before-after bridge. Let me know if you guys have ever heard about that, the before-after bridge. And so if you want to use the before-after bridge formula, it basically comes down to 3 steps. And this is basically how the content matrix is structured. First, step 1 of this bridge is you start with the before. Start where people are now. You want to tell people about the way things are now with their problem. So in your content, you're going to be painting a picture of basically describing people's problems and basically letting people know that you are on their page. And this is really important. This is really like the first step in creating content that converts. So there's a saying that if you can describe someone's problem or pain better than they can, then they will automatically assume that you have the solution. And really logically, this doesn't make a lot of sense, but on an emotional level, it does, because if someone can describe your pain and your problems, and they can empathize with where you're coming from, then there's a high chance that you are going to assume that they actually have the solution to that problem. And this is absolutely true, right? So that's step number one. We want to describe the problems. Step number two is we want to introduce the after. You want to get them to imagine what it would be like to be within a desired outcome. So you want to paint the picture for the dream outcome. You want to cast the vision for what it would be like, what it could be like for them instead. Instead of being in the pain, what would it be like if they had this dream outcome? Like, how would their life change, right? And then step three is you want to bridge the before and after, and you can actually introduce your product or service as the perfect solution that can bring them to that desired outcome. So let me know if this makes sense, you guys. Give me a hashtag before and after bridge or something, or let me know if you have any questions about this, because this is really the key to creating content that converts. Like, this is it. Like, this is really all you have to know. You just have to get really good at hooking people in by emotionally triggering them. And then we're going to be talking about that in just a second. And then you have to cast the vision for how amazing it would be to have the dream outcome. And then your product is just the bridge between those two, right? So that is the secret. That is the key. So let's get into the 3 steps to creating and filling out this worksheet, because you'll notice that there are 3 sections basically on this worksheet that you can fill out. And this is, again, going to help you generate all those content ideas that will actually attract your ideal customer, because we're using this psychology. Basically, this is copywriting psychology. We're using applied psychology to get people to take action on our content. And so let's get into the first step of filling out this worksheet, which is we want to identify core problems of our dream customer. Core problems of our dream customer. So, for example, these are the main things that they already are aware of. They're problem aware of these things. So, for instance, one example for my dream customer is they don't know what content to post, right? And so that is a main core problem, is they're aware of that as a problem, and that is basically a basic problem that they have with their what I'm helping them with, right? And so you want to list out maybe about 10 of these. Try to fill out all 10. Try to really brainstorm and come up with a list of 10 core problems that your dream customer is aware of. So, for example, another one for me might be, they don't know how to get traffic, right? They don't know how to get traffic. That's another core problem. They don't know how to generate leads. They don't know how to get traffic. That's a core problem that my dream customer has. You want to fill out all 10. Next, let's go into the symptoms, because this is really key. People are going to be aware of the core problems that they have, but that's not a good hook. That's not going to get people to move, because it's not emotional enough. So with these symptoms or the emotional triggers, basically these are the symptoms of those core problems. So these are the emotions that people feel because of those core problems. And so you really kind of want to let them know that you want to remind them, right? You want to remind them of this pain, right? And so this is what emotionally is going to trigger them, and it's emotionally going to get them to stop the scroll, watch your content, give you a follow, become your customers, all that stuff, right? Like, this is what's going to do it, is if you can basically use NLP, right? To get them to remember, oh yeah, I know that pain. And so here's some examples of symptoms or emotional triggers that will get people to move. So for me, one example is people, okay, so sorry, this is incorrect. But some symptoms for my ideal customer might be they feel awkward when creating content. They don't know what content to create. They feel stuck. They feel like they're throwing spaghetti at the walls. They are not clear on how their content is even going to generate leads. Like, they're foggy and they're uncertain about how their content's going to actually get them results. And they're just like trying a bunch of things, right? And they're just scrolling on TikTok for hours looking for inspiration. And they're so frustrated because they're like, I know that I have a message that is going to, attract my ideal people. I just don't know what it is. And I'm overwhelmed with all the different things that I could say. I don't know exactly what to do to create that content that's going to work. These are all like the emotional feelings that people have if they are stuck creating content, right? And so the core problem is they don't know what content to create, but the symptom is that they feel frustrated that they're just trying different things and they don't know what's going to work, right? So fill out 10 symptoms if you can, brainstorm and figure out what are those emotional triggers. And this might take some thinking about, this might take some contemplation, like, you know, if you are teaching people about a problem that you've solved, for instance, then think back to when you did have that problem. What were the emotions going through your minds? Like, what were the things that made you really frustrated or feel overwhelmed? And then let's move on to the dream outcomes for your ideal customer. And the dream outcomes are basically, you're casting the vision for what they could be experiencing instead. Instead of this pain that they're experiencing, what could they be experiencing instead? So here's 2 examples for my dream customer. The dream outcome for them might be having an abundance of leads. That is an example of a dream outcome, is that they have so many qualified leads that they almost don't know what to do with them. They have an abundance of traffic coming into their business who's actually qualified. Another example of a dream outcome for my dream customer is feeling confidence and having fun creating content, right? So basically before they were overwhelmed, but now they feel confident and they love creating content and they love serving their audience. That is a dream outcome, right? And so try to come up with a list of all 10 and brainstorm that, because that's going to be really helpful. And the fourth part of this sheet is to know actually the 10 core human desires. And these are true like across the board for everybody. So the core problems are going to be specific to your ideal customer avatar, but the 10 core desires are like always there for everybody, right? And so you want to know what these are. This is actually from the book Copywriting Secrets by Jim Edwards. And basically the 10 core desires or reasons why people buy are make money, save time, avoid effort, escape mental or physical pain, get more comfort, attain better health, gain praise, feel more loved, or increase status or popularity. And so these are like the core drivers and motivations that people have almost no matter what. And the cool thing is that if you can tie these in to your specific dream outcomes, that's going to be really powerful in helping your content get people to take action. So now you have all 4 quadrants of this content matrix filled out. Let me know if you guys in the comments are filling this out. Let me know if you are printing this worksheet out and following along. Let me know if you have any questions about any one of these 3 quadrants and how to move forward with these. But basically, if you fill these out, then you're going to have a complete roadmap for creating content. And so let me know if you have any questions about doing that. So basically, I want to also kind of explain how this worksheet works, because this is actually divided into 2 main parts. On the left-hand side of the sheet, you have what you're going to be using for your hooks to capture people's attention and draw them in so that they stop watching and they listen to your content. And on the other side of the sheet, on the right-hand side of the sheet, you have the value. And this is inspiration for what value you can provide in your video that will help people. Because, right, like we want to be creating content that's valuable, but we don't want to be giving just like dry tips and information. We want it to be in the context of providing people with their dream outcome. And so these are all the ideas that we can, this is inspiration for how to provide value based on what we know about the topic, right? And so now that you know what makes your customers move, because you have these mapped out, all you have to do is come up with different ways of packaging this information. Let me know if that makes sense in the comments. Give me a hashtag infinite content ideas if this is making sense to you, because this is like the foundation of your content, right? Like your ideal customer avatars, problems and dream outcomes might change a little bit depending on, they might change over time slightly, but they're basically going to remain the same. They're going to remain constant. And now you know what they are. And so all you have to do is you just have to figure out different ways of packaging this information, testing different ways of presenting it, and you have an infinite amount of content ideas. You're always going to know what to post that's going to magnetically attract your ideal customers, right? And so let me know if that makes sense to you. Give me a hashtag infinite content in the comments if that is blowing your minds, and if you are really excited because you're like, oh, okay, I can just fill out this worksheet and now I will never have the question of what to post again, right? And so here's how this actually works in practice. Each one of these symptoms or problems, right on the left-hand side of the worksheet that you came up with, you can basically come up with unique hooks that you can use in your different videos. So here's an example of how this works. The main symptom that I'll use for this example is feeling stuck and frustrated creating content, right? That's the symptom. That's what's going to get people to be like, yeah, I feel stuck, right? Well, here are 4 examples of hooks that I could specifically use to make 4 different videos based on that one core symptom. Hook number 1, the one thing that will get you unstuck with creating content, and that would be my hook. That would be the first sentence or the text on screen as I start my video. That's the hook. That's the reason why people are going to watch, right? Hook number 2, stuck creating content. Try this simple tip to get inspired. Hook number 3, if you feel stuck creating content, stop throwing spaghetti at the walls. Do this instead. And then hook number 4, get unstuck with these 3 content creating tips. So you'll notice like the main symptom is the same for all 4 of these. And I can go on and on and on and on and on. I can create infinite amount of hooks. I can test infinite amount of things that are going to get people to stop and watch, but it's all based on that main symptoms. Is this making sense? Give me a hashtag, light bulb or something in the comments if this is making sense to you. And then let's get back to the right-hand side of the sheet. Let's get back to the value side of this worksheet. So the same principle applies with the value side. You can use the dream outcomes and the core desires to get inspiration for what value you want to deliver in your content after the hook. Because you guys, right? Like, let's break it down. Content is basically just hooking people in and then delivering value. It's hooking people in and delivering value. You know, like that is the simplest way of thinking about it. And that this is how it works, right? So let's give an example of this. Let's say, for example, I want to pick the dream outcome of having an abundance of qualified leads. So that's the dream outcome that I'm choosing for this example, having an abundance of leads. Now, there are so many tips and tricks that I can provide that will help people attain that dream outcome that there are never-ending content ideas for it, right? But the point is that instead of giving bland educational tips, I'm sharing the tips in the context of helping people attain the dream outcome. So you see the difference? Instead of just doing like, here's 3 ways to get more leads, I'm painting the vision of like, what would it be like if you had an abundance of leads? Like, what would that be like in your business? Like, what would that do? And by the way, here's 3 tips for how you can actually get this to work for you. So because I'm clear on the dream outcome, on the emotional motivator that's going to get people to move, I can do whatever I want in my content. So for example, so basically the other thing I wanted to say is that if I tie the dream outcome, that specific dream outcome, to like having an abundance of leads, if I tie that into and weave it into the 10 core human desires, it will be even more compelling. So for example, I'm not just telling people how they can get an abundance of qualified leads. In my content, I can tell them that they can cut advertising costs while generating an abundance of leads, because saving money is one of the 10 core human desires, right? Or I'm telling them that they can increase their social status while generating an abundance of leads, because increasing your status is one of the core human desires. So you see how powerful this is? Not only am I speaking specifically to my ideal customers' problems, but I'm also tying it into the main core motivators, right? And so I'm telling people how they can increase their social status while generating an abundance of leads. I'm doing both. I'm doing both from this side of the worksheet, and this is going to really help create content that is magnetically attracting the people who are interested in what you have to say. So let me know if that makes sense. Give me a hashtag, never ending content ideas or something in the chat. Give me a hashtag awesome or something. Let me know if this is making sense to you. And I just highly recommend, spend 20 minutes filling out the content matrix worksheet and never run out of ideas of what to post again. So can you see the point of that, right? Like if you spend like just a couple minutes, maybe you've already done some of them, and just really brainstorm and try to really think and push to get to those 10 core problems, triggers, and outcomes, then you're going to be giving yourself a lot of latitude to create content very easily, right? And so I highly recommend doing that. And that's all I had for you guys today. Hopefully this was a valuable training and you got a lot out of this. And this is basically kind of some of the foundational stuff for creating content. But in the 5-day traffic challenge, we're going to be going really deep into actionable how to create content on TikTok, how to actually make this work, how to create videos. We're going to be talking about the algorithm. We're going to be talking about, a bunch of different stuff, video creation, more about how to structure your content, how to like actually make content that works for TikTok, and so much more. And this challenge, if you've been wanting to get started on TikTok or even just wanting to grow your audience and maybe you're not sure about TikTok, we're going to be talking about why TikTok is the perfect place for your business. And this is just going to save you so much time if you've been wanting to get started on TikTok, and or even with short form video, right? Because if you publish on TikTok, you can basically create content anywhere. And yeah, so go register if you're interested for the 5-day traffic challenge. Go to 5daytrafficchallenge.com. And like I said, this is going to be starting May 23rd on Tuesday. And I look forward to seeing you there. So that's all I had for you guys today. Hope this was helpful. And I will talk to you guys later.